Porsche Cup. The BMW M2. Two iconic motorsport manufacturers provide a limited choice for this one-of-a-kind multi-class series. A series which will undoubtedly provide us with fast, close, exciting racing. Spanning 9 of the world's most iconic racetracks. This is Season 4 of New World Sim Racing's 2024 calendar. Drivers, start your engines.
Hello there.
Hello there to you. Good evening. Welcome to my second home, Brands Hatch. We are here for round 3 of the PCUP M2 series. And as always, let's bring in the rest of the crew. Joey Spaghetti Melidi and Philip Whelpcakes Milwy. What's going on, guys?
Good evening.
Hello, hello.
How we doing?
Doing good.
Doing great, and gotta
What?
try to get a little British as we're at your homeland here, Milo.
I know. I do love a bit of Brands.
Me too. Me too. I'm really excited for this race. And 16 cars on this grid, I'm happy with that number. That's a good number for this track, especially with the mixed class going on. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And the Rowdy Burns livery is just
Skin on skin.
it hits different.
Yes. You know what? 16 is fine. I mean, it's a pretty even spread. Slightly in favor of the Porsche, which I am told is incredibly difficult to drive here. Mike Racer X in chat. Mike, come on now. Where are you? Put yourself in a Porsche or an M2. Get on out here. You know? We're missing a few bodies tonight, but I think it's an anti-British thing. What do you guys think?
After the F1 race, I'm pretty sure. British bias, you know.
Yeah, I'm definitely like, I like it here. So Brands is a very fun track for a great. Sorry, there's a sound effect being played, so I had to stop there. But yeah, Brands it's a great place, especially for the BMWs. I think that's kind of the perfect class for Brands. You know, touring car, that kind of stuff. That's always really, really good here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about the PCUP. And like I say, the guys that I've spoken to have said it's always difficult to handle, but even more so here.
Yeah, the PCUP is very notoriously good at handling really bumpy tracks. And by that, I mean it's terrible at handling really bumpy tracks. And this track in particular has some spots where bumps can kind of just be part of the nature of the fastest line around the track, like going on the setup into Surtees, and then you've got the entire like back section in Sector 3. It's going to be tough for him. It's going to have to be, smooth is safe, safe is fast kind of thing. Or I can't remember how that saying goes. Anyway, they're going to have to be smooth on the throttle. They're going to have to be smooth with the inputs. Otherwise, we're going to have a lot of Porsches in their natural state, which is backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. In the chat, blaming Rados for his rig being broken. His brake spring got broke the other day. So that is why Carter is not out there tonight. And I believe him. Rados probably did do it. He probably got intimidated and went and broke it.
Snuck in middle of the night, sprinkled a little Cheeto dust on those pedals,
Mm-hmm.
and magic just happens.
Yeah.
For sure.
Went to the altar.
Yeah, and like I said, we're missing quite a few tonight, but hopefully the 16 that are here have a great time out on track. And the BMW M2s putting in their quali laps now. Don Boulanger leading the way is often fast. Joby Savage is right up there as well. A few 4/10 off of Don at the moment, but lots of time left. And both drivers up on their current lap times. Miller's out there as well. Carlos Guzman and Eamon also yet to put in a valid lap, but he's still got about 5 minutes, so plenty of time.
And I do believe Rados is going to give us some extra content for the start of the race. He is starting from the back of the grid today.
All right, little self challenge. I think that might be good for the cameras, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And this man is like, you know what? We haven't seen enough in the Pine Series this go round is a Porsche bullying the M2s at race start. That's going to be interesting. But yeah, cutting through the M2s right at the start. Good luck to you, sir.
Yeah, try not to kill anybody.
Yep.
Let's take a look at the glorious track map for a circuit which should still be on the F1 calendar, in my opinion. Imagine the chaos that would ensue.
I mean, how is Lando and Max going to battle if there's no off track to go off track?
That's right, yeah. So it's been a long time since this track was Formula One certified. But the most famous of the corners has to be Turn 1, Welt, Paddock Hill. It is a beautiful corner to watch motor racing at. If you ever get the chance to go to a race at Brands, a lot of people congregate there against the fence because it is obviously a fast downhill right-hander that can be pretty terrifying in the wrong car.
Yeah, I love Paddock Hill, the drop off as the track falls away on the inside line. And it's kind of got, correct me if I'm wrong on this, it's been a while since I've driven it. After the apex, it's an off-camber turn for much of the drop while you're going through Halewoods.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're not wrong. It's very terrifying to have the track basically fall away from you as you start to go down quite a steep drop.
It's determined to spit you off to the gravel and the grass out there, for sure.
Phrasing?
Yeah, so into turn 2, which is Druids, another infamous British motorsports corner, but yeah, turn 2 is Druids, the hairpin. Graham Hill bend at 3, Surtees at 4, which you had mentioned previously, and then the straight, really, Pilgrim's Drop, has got quite an incline change there. It's a little deceptive. You kind of go up from Surtees and then the drop at Pilgrims down Hawthorne Hill to Hawthorne Bend, and then those 3 right-handers that are really good fun, especially if you're into your car and you're into your setup. Once you trust it, you can really start to throw it through those. For me, it's always been hit or miss. Some cars I feel great through there, other cars I just, not so sure, but yeah. So through those anyway, into Sterling's, that left-hander, and then Clark Curve to finish the lap. And we'll get an onboard with somebody with Whelp at some point later. because it's a popular feature of the stream.
I appreciate that. Those are kind words. I'm kind of interested in your thoughts, boys, because you guys race these cars more often than I do. I'm just thinking to myself, like Sector 3 in the Porsche is going to be a straight up nightmare because you have to kind of put your car partially off the track to make some of those corners at like Westfield, Dingledale, and Sheen. And that's probably the place that you're going to start to see the back end of the Porsche snap around. I mean, what problem areas do you guys think exist for the Porsche here?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes. I think.
Mhm.
I think you make a great point with Sector 3. I think Turn 1 is going to be particularly challenging as well.
Mhm.
And especially once we get into the multi-class aspect, I think, because there's not a lot of easy places to pass. And if one of these Porsches get a little impatient, easily end up in the grass, in the sand, into a wall even. If they try to make a move, not quite stick. Brands is very unforgiving in my opinion.
Yeah.
Especially with how fast these corners are, and you get off track, you're off track at a high rate of speed.
I think T1 for sure as well. Like you there, Joey, and I also think that Sector 3, which well you pointed out, but those three right-handers that I mentioned before. If you're comfortable in a car, they're great fun. You can really throw them in. I feel like if you do that in this car, you're just living right on the edge of death.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. No, you are totally right.
Carlos Guzman just...
Not only are those
sorry.
like... Oh, you're fine.
Oh, just because Carlos just put in a 37.7, so jumps to 4th on the grid in the M2s, and the Porsche's heading out, as you can hear. And that just leaves Joby up at the moment, a couple of attempts, but he's going to pull out. And Joby tonight is Rowdy Burns, not Cold Trickle, just to confuse the broadcast a little more. Yep. Sorry, Joey.
No, you're fine. I think one of the other things with the triple right-handers with this car is like, not only are they fast corners, also you got a lot of elevation change, like through the corners.
Yep.
Like some of it kind of starts on a crest and you gotta turn in. So it's not even particularly smooth either. It's definitely bumpy. And you gotta like trust the grading, those grates that exist on the outside of the paved part of the track.
Yep.
So yeah, I just think easy to just loop it and hit one of those walls at a high rate of speed.
Yeah, I think the
Be a
part.
sad Porsche.
Yeah, the part that you mentioned there, as we're watching Barrett actually in Hey Honey Motorsports getting ready to go into, I believe that's Surtees, finish off his lap. Yeah, just seeing that most of these cars experience that change in elevation at the crest of the hill mid-corner. Kind of the worst kind of setup for a Porsche driver because there's no TC on the car. So if the rear end breaks traction at any point in time while you're mid-corner, you're basically a passenger.
Yep.
So it's going to be interesting to watch him navigate it. But interested to see what these times look like when the Porsche drivers start pumping some time laps.
Yeah, Barrett just going for a small drift there at turn 3 in Sticky Situation Motorsports PCUP. And yeah, you can see at the back end really hard to keep under control. This is his first hot lap, as it were. We'll see what kind of a time he puts in.
I think Hawthorne's is going to be probably like one of the stronger corners for the PCUPs. There's not a lot of bumpiness in that corner, as long as you can keep it on the optimal line.
Yeah.
That is one thing that we haven't talked about yet with the PCUPs. I think the part that is going to kind of like expose the problems with the PCUPs and their suspension and traction control issues is going to be if anybody is brave enough to throw it side by side in a corner that isn't Druids. I think in any of those situations, it's just going to be probably two cars coming together and shooting off track.
Yeah. Oh my word. And some of the camera angles here are atrocious, Kunos, may I say. TV1 is not a great option tonight.
Yeah, and the other thing is too is that the helicopter cam around here also can be kind of spotty because you'll notice sometimes with the helicopter cam that the action is like really slow and the camera's really focused, and then all of a sudden the helicopter just like moves practically at the speed of sound.
Yes.
To get the car back in center frame, and it's just weird.
Yeah, we'll do our best to stay on top of the camera angles, but apologies for any shrubberies or fences or walls or whatever that get in the way.
Yeah.
Lukey looking for a bounce back performance. He was strong in week 1 and week 2 pretty good as well. Week 3 I think was his worst result in a car that he likes. So Lukey looking to get back up. He's currently sitting 3rd on the grid provisionally with a 27.3.
No.
Yeah, and Robertson up 4/10 at the moment into those right-handers. And we'll see how he fares. Yeah, currently up 6/10. So Mark on for what could be a good lap here. He goes through Sterling's and down towards Clark. Lovely line through that last corner there. And good looking lap this. Half a second is going to be, this should catapult him into the 26s and Mark provisionally P4 on the grid at the moment.
Alcantara with a nice lap, a decent banker lap, pulls him up to just 6/10 off of Barrett.
I'm kind of wondering how many people are going for the stable setup, the stable option, as opposed to the fast option. Around
Probably
here.
everyone but Rados.
Okay.
Yeah, Paul with a 26.915, so slightly faster than Heslin and Robertson, but Barrett setting the tone, and Paul goes wide, loses that back end, and it was indeed at the 3rd of the right-handers, which is the most precarious one because that's the one you really throw the car into. Lukey up 7/10, and he goes second fastest with a 26.6. Great lap from Michael Lukey there.
Yeah.
Boys are finding the rhythm.
It does look like between Robeson and Lukey, like I think
Oh,
they seem to have some pretty.
Lukey.
And Lukey loses it at Druids, and this, we're getting some good examples of how difficult this can be. Obviously, light fuel, quali trim. So hopefully their race setups are a little more stable. Question mark?
So
You're checking?
Mark in particular, like watching him do his laps, like just not seeing a lot of bounce. Does feel like the car is pretty compliant in some of the trickier sections of the track. So I'm thinking he might have gone with the more stable option. I think the same is true for Barrett. Like I'm seeing him navigate through Sector 3, and
It looks good. Well,
yeah,
it looks good.
just not seeing the car really stressing.
Sometimes some people have in the past. I've only driven the Porsche, any of the Porsches, minimally, but my understanding is it can be beneficial to load up with a little more fuel than you would think for a quali, just to stabilize the car a little bit, maybe a little bit more stable with a bit of extra weight.
Man, he's so close to a 25.
Yeah, 26 flat for Barrett, looking really good. Robertson's up 4/10 again. This could bring him into the P2 realm if he can bring this home. And he's going through Clark now, so if he doesn't make a mess of this, which he does not. He's gaining time. And this should put him P2. It does. Robertson with a fantastic lap.
Yeah, that was a really good showing from Mark on that one.
These Porsches about to give us a good show, I think, until they all die, and then, you know, there's nothing left to watch. But until that point, it's going to be some good racing.
Eyes on Kyle Hassling in the Domino's Pizza Porsche at the moment. 7/10. He's up. This could also put him in the P2 realm. And our championship leader, Rados, not race. Well, he is racing, but starting from the back tonight. Self-imposed grid penalty.
For being a Chad.
Yep.
He's racing for something.
Kyle into that last corner. Looks like he approached it a little shallow. He's going to lose a little time, but not much, really.
Yeah, I think what compromised his lap kind of earlier on. I say compromise. It looks like it still could be strong if it's legal. Yeah, so it looks good. Had a bit of a moment, I think, in Westfield. Kind of had a deep exit and had all of his left tires out on the grass, as we actually just saw with I believe that was Dylan Beveridge having a similar moment. Just keeps touching the grass with the left side of the car.
Bruce Hopkins, great to see Bruce out on track tonight. I think this is the first round he's joined us for this series, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, and he was up over 2 seconds, but loses it at Clark and into the pit entrance. That is a hazard.
That is, pit entry is going to be interesting for people that overcook it. And pit exit is going to be eye-opening for people wanting to go for that apex at Paddock Hill early. You might have a car on the inside.
Qualifying coming to an end. Joseph German up half a second. This could get him into the P6, P5, P6 realm.
He drifted through the second-hander of the 3 and the 4 section. As he drifts around the exit of the 4 section.
Unfortunately, bleeding time.
Well, it looks cool, but it does not give you more time.
He's gonna shave a couple of tenths of maybe just under. Gets in one spot.
I mean, I believe that's hot, as the kids would say. I mean, I'm writing down my phone number for him right now.
Is we do have an extra BMW M2 now as well. Landon Wall has joined the competitors in the pit lane. Obviously has missed the M2 quali, but good to see him out there. Anyway, Dylan Beveridge will cross the line with a 27 flat, goes back above Joseph German, and Dylan will start P6. And that is it for quali here at Brands. And Joey, when you're ready, you can, well, once they grid up, feel free to let me know when you're ready. And
yeah, rushing me.
No, they're not even there yet. Don't worry about it. It's okay.
Come on now. I am.
I do like Chris jumping in here saying we should go congrat Barrett on his pole.
Shouldn't be this.
Think of that what you will.
Yes, on his
That's
pole.
exactly what you mean.
I've heard his pole was legendary.
Yeah.
Joseph German says, "What a piece of shit." For a second, I thought he was talking about you, Welt, but no, it's the car.
Okay. I mean, to be honest, I'd be like, fair. That's a fair criticism. That's fair. I deserve that. I show up here. You guys have got this thing going on, and all I've got are these like really dumb dad jokes.
No, dude, it's honestly a pleasure to be in the booth with you. It's been, you know, we did last season. Obviously, it was great fun, and I'm really glad you're still here. So it's good news. So Brands Hatch, this is going to be a this is going to be a hell of a show, I think. I think a 30 or 40 car grid would have been crazy.
Yeah, 30 car grid would have
That's
been
what
wild.
we want. That's what we signed up for.
Craziness? Yeah, it is. You're
Yeah.
right. Let me know when you are good to go, Joey.
I don't know.
He's struggling right now.
I need an adult.
No, don't worry. No one knows that. No one can see anything. So it's fine.
I mean, actually, he's not struggling. It's masterful. It is the camera work is some of the best I've seen in adult. Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
You ready?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There he is. There he is. All right. Here is your grid for round 3.
That's what she said.
Brown's hatch. Brown's hatch.
Brown.
Oh my God. Brown hatch is something else. All right. At pole with his pole is Barrett in the PCUP. Heslin alongside him in the number 22. Mark Robertson at 3 with Michael Lukey at 4. Paul Cantea comes in at 5 with Dylan Beveridge alongside him at 6. Joseph German at 7. Raymond at 8. And Bruce Hopkins at 9. That rounds out the PCUPs, kind of, because Rados is further down the grid. Don Belanger at pole in the BMW M2 with Joby Savage alongside him. Eamon on row 2 with Carlos Guzman. Melanson at 14. Miller at 15. Rados at 16, as I said, in the PCUP. 17 is Landon Wall. And 18, Nick Cahoot joins us late as well. So great to see Nick out there. We've had a couple of late arrivals in the M2. That's your grid for round 3. It is Brands Hatch. And, yeah, bring it on. Bring it on.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Glad to see Nick jump in here at the last minute, adding more to the M2 field.
Muff in the chat as well. Muff, where are you this evening? We shall miss you on track. Cheering the Crazy Rabbits gang on. Of which I'm happy to be a part of, but I've never finished a race with them. Make of that what you will.
Milo has issues finishing, is what I got from that.
Yeah.
Man.
Not on iRacing, apart from last night. We won't talk about last night. It's been a good year for iRacing for me. Kind of. For events, at least. Miller starting from the pits to avoid Rados. Great strat. Yeah, Miller probably was playing Rocket League on his Steam Deck, and missed the grid up section. Barrett leading the PCUPs around on the formation lap. We will go, Joey will have T1 cam, I assume.
I have like first half of Brand's cam set up.
Yeah.
Nice.
That is one thing I do like about it. Because of the nature of the track, it's like, it's a short lap, and you can position a camera like this where you can catch everybody, even the crowd in the background there. Not a sellout. It doesn't look like a sellout crowd here at Brands in the infield section, but at the same time too, a lot of people showed up, paid good money to see some multi-class racing, and we had 18 drivers show up to deliver.
Indeed, and Joby Savage, aka Rowdy Burns tonight, alongside Belanger. Joby will be looking to get a good finish.
Miller in the chat saying he did forget to hit drive. This is what happens when Ryan's not here to tell you to hit drive.
Joey with the beautiful shot of Paddock Hill on the right-hand side of your screen. And as Barrett will lead the boys to the line.
Green light, green light.
And we are underway for round 3 at Brands Hatch. Into turn 1 go the PCUPs. Hopefully they all survive.
Got my fingers and toes crossed.
Followed swiftly by the M2s. Looking neat and tidy so far. Joseph German getting ahead of Dylan Beveridge. Bruce Hopkins got ahead of Raymond there to start the lap. Rados working his way through. Carlos Guzman has got past Matt Melanson, although It's going to be some to-ing and froing into Surtees.
Some hard charge inside there. Really clean start.
Very clean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very clean.
Good
Red has
stuff.
already made his way through the M2s as well and is quickly catching the back of the PCUP grid.
With the giant Cheeto on his hood.
Yep. Lord and Savior.
These pickups sound incredible. I was thinking that, well, every time they leave the pit lane, I'm like, yes.
And with how short the lap is around here and how Brands kind of loops in on itself a little bit, you're going to hear it no matter what camera angle we're on. They're going to be in the background.
Yeah.
Just angry bees.
Joseph German having a little look at Paul Kentaya. Not close enough to make a move into Paddock Hill, which would be the ballsiest of ballsy moves. Into Druids. Hard
Oh
on the
no,
brakes.
Landon Walt has had an issue on start straight. He was facing the wall at the finish line.
Landon, who was a immense arrive and drive, I believe. Nick Cahoot has got past Matt Melanson as well. They are side by side. Carlos Guzman still just ahead of them through turn 3, and yeah, we'll change. And then Dennis Raymond. Paul Kentay. Did Paul get loose?
He must have.
Yeah, because
he has
dropped down to P9.
Go investigate. So we have it on there.
Rados works his way up to P7 now as he goes past Bruce. And next for him will be Dylan Beveridge, 2 seconds up the road. Dylan right behind Joseph German.
Yep. Paul's probably swearing at Kunos right now if I had to place a bet. He just loses it on the exit of turn 3. And
do you want me to bring up the
pogo
replay?
sticks no need.
Okay.
He just goes pogo sticking around at the exit of turn 3. So
Gotcha. Yeah, he is 4 tenths behind Bruce now, closing that gap in towards turn 2. He's going to have to take a slightly wider line.
Well, the front left of that car is wounded, so I'm kind of curious. With this being a clockwise track, I'm kind of curious how that's going to work out in the long run.
Yeah, it looks okay up through Surtees. I'm sure it's struggling, but at least at that speed, it didn't seem to be understeering. He makes his way past Bruce.
I think the big test for him is going to be Hawthorne's in Sector 3 and then Paddock Hill, Clark Curve. I mean, there's just big left-handers
Rados
at this track.
Rados is cooking right now. He's already up behind Dylan. 27.2. Robertson has put a 27.3 in, so the lap times are there. And Carl Haslin right behind your leader, Mr. Barrett, in the Honey Wagon.
He's been keeping Barrett honest. Hasn't let him check out.
But yeah, lovely shot of these pickups coming down Paddock Hill. And then those downshifts, as Chris mentioned in the chat, through into Druids. Great noises. Melanson and Cahoot continue to do battle in the M2s. As far as the M2 leader, you've got Don leading by about 1.5 seconds from Joby. He takes a lot of curb there into turn 1. And Eamon going off. Eamon was P3, but goes off at Paddock Hill into the sand, and Cahoot and Melanson sneak on by.
Yeah, really good start for Nick here. He, arrived a little late. He's at the back of the grid, and he's worked his way up all the way to a podium slot here in the M2s.
Yeah, I love it that we got a couple of people show up anyway. That's great stuff.
got a driver on board request.
Ooh, Rados. Yeah, where is he on track right now? Yeah,
He is actually chasing down Joseph German right now, yeah. And Lukey.
He's
So
about
this
to
should
start a
get
lap.
real interesting.
So
Yep, he is.
Actually,
take it away, Weld.
Yeah, so he's getting lined up on the descent down Paddock Hill. Now they're going to do the hill climb up into Druids. Lukey's going to kind of hold them up a little bit of the cork in the bottle situation. But Rado's just staying behind Joseph as they go through Grand Hill. Again, this is the part where Paul Cantea ran wide on the exit Grand Hill. There's some really nasty bumps, but everything's going smooth so far. Through Surtees, pushing the exit out wide, and now the Pilgrim's Drop. This is the elevation change that Milo was talking about earlier. Taking an early line or an acute line through Hawthorns, I think it's mostly because Rados is just kind of like locking in behind German, and either they're going to make a mistake or something. He's not really, it doesn't look like he's really looking to press as they go into Dingledell and lining up actually through Sheens and now into Sterling Moss. Car gets a little unsettled, and now he's got to lock back in and try and catch back up to German as they go through Clark Curve, and that's a lap of Brands Hatch.
yeah, there's really good textbook examples that we were talking about with these Porsche Cups. So Joseph German actually got loose on the final right-hander, touched the grass, which allowed Rados to set up that corner, and then Rados loses the rear end of that Porsche on that very, what I think is a pretty highly cambered corner here at Brands Hatch. That they just kind of got a little squirrely.
Oh, German's off, and Rados is going to find his way around, and he sets his sights on Michael Lukey, who's going into Surtees right now.
Yeah, checking back in with the front runner as well. Barrett has Heslin right behind him. It's 2/10 now. This gap has been steadily decreasing, although Heslin has an invalid 26.5.
We do have a battle brewing in the M2s. Matt Melanson and Patrick Amon are almost side by side through the start-finish line here as they head into turn 1. So actually, you're gonna have a nice little M2 battle here, I think, on this lap.
Yeah,
as I said, Patrick goes a little wide here, sets it up nicely on the inside here from Matt Melanson. See if Matt can take advantage on it. Gets the move done pretty well, hugs the inside line, everyone leaving each other space. You'd love to see it. And looks like Matt might be able to pull away a little bit here. Now Patrick has Carlos Guzman behind him as well that he's got to keep an eye on.
Yeah, we've got Rados made his way past Lukey now, and half a second already that gap. So yeah, Rados is flying 26.2 last lap.
I think the part that's going to be interesting is when we get to the phase where these P-Cups run into the M2s. Mm-hmm. That's going to be happening here in a moment, actually, with race leader catching up to Dave Miller right now.
And Matt Melanson went wide in the first right-hander in the fourth section, goes off, so Patrick and Carlos both get by. So he's going to have to make those moves again. And to your point, we have the P-Cup slowly catching, as they're only a few corners behind these M2s.
Dennis Raymond made his way past Bruce. I think Bruce had an off track there. Rados is right up behind Robertson now for P3. As Miller goes wide and they make their way past. It's a side-by-side battle down the hill.
Now this is some brave stuff right here. You saw that Robeson starts to lose the back end, taking the shallow line through Clark Curve, and the car gets unsettled. Rados makes his way around and down Paddock Hill, and away he goes.
Bullet coming in with the 15-month sub to Ferris's New World Sim Racing's Twitch channel. Thank you, Bullet. Appreciate it.
So when you guys say Ferris's Lamborghini, you're talking about the tractor, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Gold-plated tractor. Yeah.
Carlos Guzman reeling Patrick Amon in now. This has been brewing for a little while, so obviously we saw Patrick had a big off track at turn 1 a couple of laps ago.
Now the Sector 3, completely opposite story for the M2s.
Mm-hmm.
You can just fling these cars.
Amon off again into the grass.
Yep.
Oh, I was worried he was going to have to rejoin. Not out of choice there, but he managed to hold it.
Yeah, the thing that I'm noticing about Patrick's car is it looks like he's getting understeer on corner entry and he's getting oversteer on corner exit. It's just basically the worst of both worlds.
Yeah. Oh,
Mellison is off. And that's going to be a light brush.
Yeah, right as Barrett and Heslin hit this grouping of 3. Barrett takes the outside into Paddock Hill bend. And Carlos Guzman holding on to the M2 behind him. Amon going a little wide, and Heslin makes his way through as well. So you guys both had mentioned how things were going to get a little exciting as the traffic met each other. Look at this group here of Robertson, Lukey, and German.
So Rados is now
Rados gave Patrick quite a scare there, but Rados was able to back out of that send a bit.
Now we got a battle here. We got Robeson, Lukey, and German all now catching up to the M2s.
That's probably the best part of the entire track to catch these M2s. The very nice long
going
straight.
into Hawthorns.
Yeehaw!
So, yeah, this is where, if you've been taking these corners in the PCUP, you know, and you're starting to settle in, now you're adding some dirty air, and Joseph German is the first victim of that. As they went round that first right-hander, Joseph losing it just in that airflow, I think, and had a bit of an off-track. So now it's Lukey and Robertson.
Allowing Dylan Beveridge to catch back up. Maybe try and take a shot at Joseph. I'm very interested with the lap being as shorted as it is, that we haven't seen anybody go for a big time undercut when they got to that M2 traffic.
Yeah,
but
I feel like that. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. You're good.
No, I was just gonna say how undercuts short track multi-class can be even bigger than just your usual undercut. Of that, if you can remove one additional time you have to go through the slower class, you can gain a lot of time, just depending on where the people you're battling get to those slower cars.
Yeah, we had a little look there. Amon got past Carlos Guzman. Carlos still within a second, but yeah, Amon was able to get by. I think it was maybe a slight off track for Carlos. Lukey keeping Robertson in check. He's 6 or 7 tenths behind him, and Alcantara is still on the comeback trail, 6 seconds behind Dylan.
And just now into Sterling Moss, Robeson and Lukey catch up to an M2 mid-corner, and then out of corner exit on the way to Clark Curve, just trying to put it all together and get through the traffic without killing each other.
They got it again now as they meet Joby Savage into Paddock Hill. Mark being very patient. Lukey checks up as well, as you see a BMW in the background. Joseph German catching these two again.
Quick update up front. Rados is lapping about a second quicker than the boys ahead, and he is now on Kyle Heslin's rear as they about to head down the drop into the forest section here.
So corner exit looked good for Kyle. Rados is going to have a little bit of the draft. See how they line up for Hawthorns here. Did look like there was a little bit of a front wobble from Heslin. Just an ever so slight amount of wobble. And actually, I think it's kind of like wrecking his rhythm a little bit because I'm noticing that his corner entries and exits seem pretty inconsistent. He's also laying down a lot of rubber for corner exit. So Rados is applying the pressure, and Heslin is doing his best to hang on for dear life.
Yeah, indeed, Rados will look to make a move, I think, on this lap, providing turn 1 goes okay for him. But he is all over the back. Has a little look at the inside. It's not going to be at Druids this time.
Chris in chat making a great point. Rados is actually addicted to the PCUP in iRacing. He thinks it's the best combo ever, even better than the combo in ACC. And so he is very much feeling in his element right now with these Porsche Cups. Probably finds it maybe a little bit easier just because he's got at least some ABS in the ACC version of this car. So he's used to that no ABS iRacing deadly PCUP compared to this one.
Rados and Hesse just flicked over as Carlos Guzman still trying to find a way back past Eamon. Lukey is pretty close to Robertson still about somewhere between 6 and 8 tenths. Oh, has to get a little loose. Took a bit of grass on the exit. Rados will sneak on by without too much drama, and now sets his sights on race leader Monsieur Barrett in the 87 PCUP.
And we know that Barrett will defend for his life, even though some people are racing for something.
I'm just kind of curious. You guys know Rados more than me, who actually has a bit of a wobble out of Paddock Hill. That was a bit of a moment there. Rados is relatively young, right?
29.
You know? Because I was just trying to figure out, like, he's a big fan of, like, the PCUP and iRacing. Like, the Direct X11 engine for iRacing was released in 1995. Fun fact, anyway.
Hey,
Yeah.
I was alive for that. Hooray.
Friggin' iRacing. I mean, it is some people's wine of choice. I mean, I like them all. They all have their merits.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Rados is 55,
too, actually.
says Greg. Rados is 50. Oh, is that Carter? Who's E36?
That's Carter.
Oh, it's Carter, okay.
Yeah, that's Carter. He's 55. Yeah, I think being a lefty ages you quicker than a normal person.
Like, now, was Carter born when DirectX 11 was released?
I'm guessing not. But I don't know. Kentea has caught.
Carter thinks that a floppy disk is just a 3D printed save icon.
Yeah. Kentea has caught Dylan Beveridge. Dylan, who goes extremely wide at Sterling's. And Kentea will get on by. Didn't have to force that move at all. Dylan making a mistake and pull back up to P7. And now he has a long stint ahead of him if he wants to catch Joseph German, as we see Dennis Raymond rejoining behind Bruce. And Nick Cahoot about to... Yeah, Joby Savage under pressure. We've not seen a ton from the M2s so far in this first half of the race, but that's because the PCUPs have had a couple of really close battles.
Still time for Paul to Alt F4. This is true.
Nick Cahoot into Paddock Hill.
I think he's gonna...
Alongside Joby. That's a great piece of driving. Does he have the run into Druids? No, Joby gets his nose there first. And as they come out towards turn 3, Nick will have to reset and give that another go. But that was a good attempt. Had a little look.
Rados in the Cheeto Felon Porsche 911, catching up to the Honey Wagon down the start-finish straightaway.
Have you never had honey with your Cheetos?
I feel
I've never had honey or Cheetos with a Felon. So
Oh, a little wobble from Rados there coming down Paddock Hill. Again, you see, I think that's a little dirty air there. Of course, that wobble.
I mean, the car only has the wing to help it, so
yeah,
you're probably not wrong.
Can we give Rados a DT for a sub? Well, let's make it clear, last to first doesn't count unless the grid's over 28 cars. I just made that up.
And by made that up,
this was
you did a lot of like what is it? Market research.
Loads, yeah. I asked 4 people.
Surveys. Yeah.
If this was like our M2 Mondays or one of our off series, we'd definitely do that because we've done it before. As Rados, I guess a brief moment of Honda lifestyle came out for a brief moment. He felt like he had to go cut that grass real quick.
The VTEC kicked in for him.
Yeah, the grass was getting a little too tall for him the past few laps, so he had to go cut it.
The Lukey Robertson battle for P4 in the PCUP still going. This has been going for a good 10-15 minutes now. And yeah, hopefully they're both enjoying this as they approach. I think that's Miller ahead of them on track there. Potentially? No, it's not. Who's 617?
It's going to be Melanson.
Melanson, yeah, it is.
We are going to have them start seeing these M2 battles, which will make things interesting as well. We have 2 classes both battling each other. Don't really want to just let off the gas to let them by. Also use the other class as pawns in their own battles, so it should make things a little bit interesting. As I'm talking and rambling, Joseph German has dove into the pits for his pit stop.
The first of the pit stops is in. Good evening, Socko. See you there in the chat. Fuck these tires, says Joseph.
I mean, if you can, that's impressive.
Carlos Guzman and Patrick Amon still going at it. They've been racing each other for the entirety of the first half of this race. And Carlos in the charming toilet paper BMW M2. You gotta love it.
Hot dog down hallway. Chris is not wrong there.
Yeah, so Rados now with that Cheetos mobile making the move on Barrett into Druids.
I see.
Gets
Gotta activate some Multi-21.
Gets it done as well. Barrett right there with him. Great exit.
Dylan Beveridge lost it on the final corner of the forest section. I'm bad at turn names, so bear with me. Hits the wall and teleports.
Oh, for our first casualty of the day, as we see Barrett in the tow.
Oh my god.
Yep, this is the harrowing stuff we were talking about.
Yep, this was it.
Past the battle of Guzman and Amon, and into the first of the second of the right-handers, and then the best one, the fastest one right here.
Yeah, the exit of Sheen. I'm kind of curious what type of Cheeto we're dealing with right now. I think he's feeling a little flaming hot as he's cooking through those corners.
Rados' best lap, guys, is a 25.9. Yeah.
Moving through traffic. So and that's the thing. He has not had clear air yet.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking a low 25 is possible. If he can get some clear. Look at the gap out of Graham Hill. Jeez. He just disappeared into the distance.
Yeah, he really has the technique down in this car. I really should give this car, between this and the next race, I'll take the car for a spin just so I can see what they're feeling. Because I've not driven the PCUP.
And they do like to spin, so
yeah, very literally.
Doing it.
Very literally. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Rados actually really wide on the exit of Hawthorns, which makes me wonder, guys, do we have like a betting pool for DTs?
We did not get one going. We should have.
Ooh, Mark Robeson doing some Tokyo drift through Sheens.
Yeah, Mark.
We haven't seen. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say Mark's still dealing with the green gnashing teeth of Lukey's PCUP right behind him. It's been in his mirror for most of the race so far.
Oh, Barrett's off at Hawthorns. He gets it back on track.
Nice. He survived.
And Rados is catching the other battle through the M2s, Nick and Joby, as Joby goes a little wide, so Rados is able to slot right by. Yeah. We need these M2s to make it a little bit more tricky for these PCUPs. Be a little less predictable.
Oh, Barrett! Oh! I'm not sure what happened there. It did
just a snap of oversteer.
Yeah, that looked very tough luck there for Barrett, and Heslin will go on through up into second. That was in the air behind the M2. Don't know if that had anything to do with it, but yeah, it's tough. And Carlos Guzman still putting pressure on Eamon. These two, honestly, are having. Obviously, it's tempting to look at the PCUPs because of the noise
It's the bump out of Surtees that gets them.
It was the bump, yeah.
There's just a bump on the outside, and that's it, man.
Eamon goes wide there at the first of the right-handers, and Carlos snuck through. Then Carlos did the same at the second. And these two just switching positions. What a great race these two are having against one another.
The way the curves in Sector 3 at Brands Hatch worked for me is it kind of gives me vibes from tracks like Nürburgring, where if the sequencing gets disrupted at all, it becomes almost impossible to drive a line through Sector 3 without losing time or potentially wrecking.
Yeah, indeed. And Carlos ended up finishing that up ahead of Eamon as Kantaya worked his way past. Great stuff for those two. Lukey and Robertson about as close as they've been now for P4 and 5.
Oh, whoa. And Carlos, oh no.
Big drift.
Carlos is off, yeah.
Yeah. Big drift.
Carlos drifted, Patrick tapped him. Now they're up and running again. By the way, our leader in the M2s, Don Belanger, took his pit stop, so he has pitted.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of Don. Obviously, not really been under too much pressure. As Dennis Raymond works this way. Rados is into the pits.
Curious how pit stops are going to go for Rados. We've got stationary times in from Don. He clocked in at 23 stationary. Melanson was 23.3. Joseph German was stationary for 22.5. So fast pit stop from Joseph German. Kind of curious who's taking tires.
Yeah, Kantaya into the pits as well now. Lukey right on the heels of Robertson now as they go past Matt Melanson in the M2. Can Lukey get anything done before the pit stop?
Mark, still a long way to go.
Perhaps.
I think it's going to be tricky.
Yeah, it is. I mean, he could dive in himself, try and undercut.
Undercut, I think, strong, especially if they're going to run into a gaggle of cars coming up, but it doesn't look like it, actually. It looks like they've got quite a while before they hit the next batch of M2s. So if I were Lukey, I'd be looking to try to extend.
Yeah.
If you can.
We've reeled him in. I mean, Mark, very steady with his pace. I've been racing against him quite a bit in the P3s in the TLR series. So very consistent in his lap times.
I suspect Paul had some repairs.
Yes,
Because
you would think
he
so.
had he was stationary for quite some time. Total pit stop time was a 50.8.
Carlos and Eamon still going at it. The rest of the M2's pretty spread out. About half of them have done pit stops, half yet to pit.
Got some more pit stops coming in. Eamon.
It certainly looked like that, Chris. Chris asking if the flashes on the PCUP, because Lukey gave a flash of his lights. And it seemed to be the two little spotlights in the middle of the bumper. Not the headlights.
Snoot lights.
Yeah.
So back half of this race, Brands Hatch is definitely delivering on kind of the hectic playground here. These P-Cups having to navigate around the M2 traffic, and the M2 trying to keep their fights together while allowing the faster class to move around.
Tesla is in the pits now as well.
Yeah, Eamon has gone in and leaves the pits. Raymond right behind him coming out.
Hopkins goes into the wall on the exit of Westfield. That's Sector 3 complex we were talking about.
We're down to 16, so I think we've lost two. Yeah, Dylan and Landon.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Carlos Guzman into the pits now. It'll be interesting to see where he comes out in relation to Eamon, because they were right on top of each other. The Honey Wagon, word from the pit lane, is carrying 20 seconds of damage after that snap oversteer we saw that led to Barrett crashing into the wall. I wonder if he'll repair that as he goes into the pits.
Track like this, I would not. You can still drive it. Because the thing is that the traffic could catch the guy out in front the same. So I think for this track in particular, you got to risk it for the biscuit.
Eamon coming into Sterling's corner now, the left-hander, and then let's check in with Carlos. Carlos Guzman is moving. This is going to be close. Carlos might have it. Yeah,
so.
Yeah, Eamon's only just coming around the last corner, so it looked like the overcut there. Maybe some traffic held Eamon up. Or a longer pit stop, maybe? I'm not sure.
Let me take
Yeah, I'm seeing a 7 seconds difference in the stop time alone.
Yeah,
Guzman
indeed.
and Patrick.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Barrett, no repairs, considered no tires, but decided it would be suicide. So Barrett dives in, takes tires and presumably fuel and nothing else. No repairs for Barrett. He's going to finish it with the damage. Comes out in P3. Still strong for Barrett, who's had a very strong showing in this series so far.
And a strong pit stop from him, too. 32.5 is what I'm seeing for the total time. That seems pretty good.
Nice. And the field is pretty spread out. Joby Savage is the only man not to pit. Rowdy Burns. Leave you a good look at this livery. Chris, I'm not sure if you saw my post earlier. I got to tell Chris about this, but American Truck Simulator stuff is on sale, so I added Oklahoma just for you, and I will probably go for a drive there later on tonight.
With Lukey pitting, that leaves us down to one person on the grid that has yet to pit, and that is Joby in the M2.
I got Texas as well, because that's the one I wanted. The other one I wanted. But yeah. So Chris pointed out Barrett actually got past Heslin with that fast pit stop. And those two very close together on track. For P2 and P3, Rados has checked out. "17 seconds.
So you picked up Texas and Oklahoma, but no Arkansas. I'm sad.
I don't have Arkansas yet. I think that's the only one I don't have now. Actually, I think I have.
Yep. That sounds about like most ranked states, the 50 states.
I promise you there was nothing personal in my decision.
Well, I can promise you that it'll be the most underwhelming content you've ever driven in.
Chris thinks Arkansas is the newest one. I'll take a look at it. If it's not too outrageous, then I'll just add it, because why not?
Very technically advanced. They're really gonna put the engine on display with 2-lane roads and nothing in the distance.
Is it pretty flat?
No. There's a mixture of like mountainous areas in the northwest, and then you've got hills in the central area, and then you've got the effectively, I mean, it's floodplain, so it's all like to the east where I'm from.
I mean,
with the exception of, and this might be the coolest part, is if they do a good job modeling Crowley's Ridge, which is along the New Madrid fault line.
Heslin shooting past Eamon there at turn 3, Graham Hill. Turner says they won't. The maps are crap. I mean, I don't think they're too bad, but then again, I haven't been to half these places, you know. Now, we got some hefty gaps between cars right now, I have to say. Heslin, desperate to hang on to Barrett, takes a lot of grass. Joby still yet to pit, guys, leading the race for the M2s.
Crushing it right now. He's like, stop the count.
Well, his best lap is 0.3 slower than Don Boulanger. So Joby has the pace. Will an overcut, like, could it work for him?
Good. Depending on how the traffic works out. That could be that's going to be the biggest factor that's going to influence anyone's race here. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, it really is going to be interesting to see. We'll keep an eye on this, obviously. He has a 33-second gap, so that's not really enough. It's a 30-second stop or 25 if you don't take tires?
It's going to be, I'm going to put it probably closer to 28. It's going to be ambitious for a stop without tires, and I'm probably going to put a stop with tires at around 32, 33. Oh, Joby has a moment. He keeps it going, though.
He does. Yeah, so 33 plus pit entry and exit. I mean, it is a short. You might not need tires in the M2, says Chris. Yeah, that's a good point.
Man, the P-Cups navigating around this M2 traffic is really kind of like what's setting the tone for the race here. It's all about Joseph Durbin's like his suffering has ended.
Oh no.
We are down to 15.
We are. What happened to German? I missed that.
And I see Patrick Amon stopped on the exit of Sterling Moss, but it looks like he gets it going again.
Joey, any word on what happened to Joseph?
I am not sure. Let's see.
We are checking.
We are checking.
We are checking.
Heslin and Barrett, the battle has resumed. Joey's tabbed out playing trading card simulator, says Chris.
No, definitely not.
Man's pulling cards. He's watching Joseph lap back, and man, it is the most stable of rides, and I mean that with the greatest level of sarcasm that I can project.
No need for us to look at it, though, I assume.
I'm really kind of trying to. Oh, here it is.
There it is.
And he doesn't even. I don't even think he's trying.
Well, okay,
I think he just gave in.
Now you guys have to show it, Joey.
Yeah,
I have to now because you guys have oohed and awed. Right. Take it away.
It's just pain. This is just definition of pain. Okay, as a Honda driver, this is pain. I know this pain.
Yeah.
Notice how like he started to lose it, and then he's like, I should slow down. And then he's just like, nah. And then let's go with the brake and lets it roll straight into the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Poor soul.
Yeah.
The P-Cups, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, now, speaking of which, hopefully hopefully Brands has scared some people off, but they'll be back next week, where we are headed to Spa.
Oh boy.
And which reminds me, I got to talk to Faris and or Chris.
You're licking the car.
One of you guys will have to run the cast next week because I'm going to be in Mexico.
All right.
Are you invited to Carter's wedding too? What the hell?
No, my brother's getting married in Mexico next weekend. So me and the wife are flying down for a few short days, nothing crazy.
Cool.
I want to get married in Mexico, apparently.
Yeah, I got married in Mexico myself, actually, 2017.
2017. Oh man, you guys are still young.
I guess so. Well, my wife is. I'm not. But yeah, my brother actually marrying like a legit Mexican, so it's a proper Mexican wedding. I've been told the celebrations will be about 3 days long. The whole town's coming.
A legit Mexican.
Sorry, as an American, anytime someone says that, I'm just like, wow. Okay.
I didn't mean it like in terms of their immigration status. I meant like.
Oh God. This is what happens when you bring a British.
I meant in terms of like, you know.
Well, that's it, boys. Wrap up. We're canceled.
Yep, that's it. Brought a little colonialism to the stream, and that's it. Oh man, the pickup back to the racing, man. Watching Barrett move through traffic and stuff like that right now, like he's trying to stay out in front of Heslin as best he can. But traffic is just like, it's pretty gnarly.
He's doing a fantastic job. But Heslin looks determined. Sticky Situation Motorsports. Barrett is.
So Joseph
flying
German,
the-
are you one of those like real Mexicans, or are you a counterfeit Mexican?
Jeez. I mean, German's in the name. Like,
So yeah. Anyway, my point was it's going to be a hell of a party, from my
Alright.
understanding.
cool.
So
That's
I'm
great.
pretty pumped. Yeah, I'm pretty.
That's
pumped.
great. So we got 14 minutes and 16 seconds left on the clock, and Rados is checked out.
Yeah, Rados definitely has checked out, or he almost checked out of the race there. Got really loose at Paddock Hill.
That's the thing, man. It's not determined. But one thing, point out for the folks at home is 24 seconds already. Oh, and he is. Oh, geez. Like, yeah, I just went back and watched that. That was a bit of a moment. Gamer line through Paddock Hill.
Yeah. Yeah, there is time to die left. Haslin is a little deep into Druids. Lots of counter steer there to save it as well, you saw.
Yeah, these PCUPs are definitely tiring these drivers out. I'm sure. It's
Whilst
It's
all
a
that... sorry,
it's a
what-
tough
yeah.
combo.
It is, yeah. Whilst all that was happening, of course, Joby did pit in and is 13 seconds behind Don Boulanger, with Nick Cahoot
But-
in third.
But a 20-second gap with Nick now.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if that's really the true gap yet. I don't know if we've gotten a true reference yet or what the gap is between those two. We'll see in a minute. But looks like the overcut did manage to keep kind of Joby in P2.
Yeah, 12 seconds back, so it would take quite a moment for Don, for Joby to catch, but you never know. Closest battle
Chris.
is indeed Haslin and Barrett.
Yep. Chris hitting us with those facts that you too can sport some bro wear.
Joey,
the
would
sticky-
you do the honors of doing a close-up of that?
With the sticky situation motorsport.
Yeah. Let's get in there, boys. Let's show off this sticky situation.
I would like to say before we show this, I'd like to say that I am currently intermittent fasting. So next year's picture should look a little nicer
Okay. All right.
There you go.
Noted.
than that.
Noted. That is yeah, that is that's it's just sorry every time I see it. I can't hold character when I see it. Oh man.
Yep, you too can be part of the sticky situation club.
You can, yeah. This monstrosity of a vest is
Anyone not
available.
included.
Yeah. Click on the merch link. Yeah, all this can be yours.
It really is breaking the fourth wall here, I think. That determined look on your face.
That's how I approach every sticky situation.
Uh-huh.
Same look.
Yep. It's ooey gooey, but it's serious.
And he has to use both hands to hold the wand. That's the key.
That's
That's
right.
proper.
When did we get back to talking about Barrett's pole again?
It goes to charity, so you're a bad person if you don't. Guilt trips.
Yep, it's true.
There you go.
It's true.
Question is, with 10 minutes to go, can Kyle Haslin reel in Barrett? Lap times extremely similar. Their best laps are less than a tenth apart, and their last lap was less than well, really close, in fact.
Yeah. It is, it's going to be tough. But I think the secret for Hesslin's going to be about pressure. He's really got to start piling it on. Oh man, we're seeing cars drop now. We went from 15 to 13 in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, we did. We are.
Listen,
The attrition rate is going up. It is going up. Jay Raymond, thank you for the follow. Also earlier we had Green Raccoon Noir followed us as well. I forgot to mention that, so thank you.
terrible host. How dare you?
Paul has done it.
What was done at the
I'm gonna go
F4?
find the moment in which we have C to Alt F4. I did check the insider chats, and during the pit stop, Paul said he would like to recant his statements from before, and that this car is a piece of shit. Oh, it's because he had a skill issue and died in the same spot twice in the same race.
Oh no.
If you'd like to watch, Paul.
Sure, let's. I mean, we need some action on stream right now.
Oh, then here's some classic Paul Cantea action for you.
Alrighty. Graham Hill Bend.
Whee!
There it is. There it is.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how VW Beetle's born.
Oh, speaking as we come back, Carlos Guzman is off, still moving, and somehow Melanson and Raymond managed to get past him. Oh my goodness, that was close.
But somebody who got caught up in that looked like Kyle Heslin was involved.
I think it was Hessen because I was watching Hessen, and he's now 6 seconds. So whatever happened to Carlos, that has...
There was contact.
There was contact, and that's upset. Yeah, let us know if we want to watch that. Carlos, way down the order in the M2s now. Leading the M2s, Don Bilanger, Joby Savage in P2, Nick Cahoot in P3, and Melanson 16 seconds back. So
bummer.
Should I be bringing her up?
This
Probably.
is.
Let's do it. Hang on. There we go.
Hang on. So we see a classic Porsche Cup hunting its prey.
Oh
And
no!
boom, headshot. And then unfortunately we have a no hold brakes. But luckily, oh man!
Oh my goodness!
That was...
Oh, Carlos is out here.
That was a rejoin.
Like first he gets murdered, then he's like, well, I'll show you all, and then tries to end some lives.
A good thing those M2s are so slow, he couldn't end them.
Yep. Man.
Yeah, so unfortunately that did put pay to Heslin's battle for P2. So Barrett, another really strong performance from Barrett in the Honey Wagon. I'm sure that the livery has contributed to his determination to get good results week in, week out, because he knows it's guaranteed stream time.
Would you say it's sweet success?
I mean, he might. I don't know what I would say. I don't, you know, clearly look at the state of me on the front of the car. Look at the state of me. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Oh man.
So yeah, Barrett has done, all jokes aside, another exceptional race for Barrett. Seems to be really enjoying this series.
You are really working up the curse, aren't you? There's like 5 minutes left. And you're just heaping. You're just I mean, much like in the photograph, you're just heaping praise on Barrett here. And then
I mean,
it is just
usually if it was like
the crash.
me you were complimenting, I would have been like 300 feet in the air off some weird bump and just dead by all these compliments. Joby fighting for his life to combat this stream sniping abilities that you're trying. He just sees the bullets landing next to the car, trying to blow out a tire.
Carlos is off again, and this time it's Melanson that I'm not sure if there was contact that led to that, but Carlos went wide, lost the car, and hit Melanson, and it's all gone wrong for Carlos.
Oh my goodness, no.
What is happening? Oh,
what is
almost...
that car doing?
This reminds me of Joseph German in the BMW somehow making a BMW like a loose
Oh,
goose.
Mellinson's gone wide now as well. Mellinson will rejoin. I feel like this isn't over yet. Into Clark's. Side by side.
How did I have questions. I don't know what can be answered, but like
Side by side into Paddock Hill. What can go wrong? Oh,
It's a
Carlos,
tank slap.
Carlos goes for the
Already.
over-under. Oh, and he holds it just. My goodness, that was a squeaker.
Yeah, these two really
Putting
giving
their
each
show
other
on
what
right
for.
now. Yeah. It's close for Drew's there as well. So Matt,
You can see what I think is happening here is these things are light on fuel. They didn't take tires, I bet. And we are seeing what happens when the balance of the car really wants to over rotate on exits. So these things are they steer like a pig. So big time understeer on corner entry, and then you get these like wobbles of oversteer. And the problem is when you try to correct, the back end of the car starts to oscillate.
Yeah, Carlos going wide again there at the first of the right-handers, and Matt squeaks on by. This battle far from over.
if you want to see how we ended up here, I do have the replay as well when you're ready.
Matt with
This battle.
This is for the cameras. Yeah, here you go. Replay. Go for it, Joey.
Yeah. So to exactly Welp's point here, overcorrecting on exit here, snaps, loses it, spins,
Yeah.
goes across, collects Matt, and here we are.
Waits for
And that's how
Matt
we
as
ended
well,
up here.
though. I love it. And then they've continued to race hard for the next 2 laps. I mean, that's kind of neat.
And Rados is going to have to figure out how to navigate this situation without dying.
Super close there. Sneaks it up the inside Matt, and then goes to the outside of Carlos.
And here's the thing: him taking that inside line shallow like that in Graham Hill, that's a Paul Cantea way to end your race. Because if you take it shallow, you're going to push out wide unless you're going super slow. And you can see it. Like he's just a few more inches over, and his rear end's going to start hopping like a pogo stick.
Yeah, Mellinson on the flasher with Carlos again getting loose. These M2s, yeah, both of these guys are drifting through corners and running wide, fighting back and forth. You've got Bruce Hopkins in the background about to have to work his way past. With 1.5 minutes to go, there's not much else happening on track. This is the closest battle we have.
And it's spicy.
Okay, the leader is on the final lap now. Give it all you can.
We are on the final lap.
Indeed we are. Oh, Bruce.
Oh, Hopkins has got to figure out where he's going to go, inside, outside.
Oh, and runs a bit wide, but I think he saved it. Yeah, he did.
He's fine.
So 1 lap.
You can hear the tires as they're going through Druids. Like all 3 cars, Hopkins, Guzman, Mellinson, they're just torturing the tires at this point.
Yeah, Mellinson running very wide on the exit of turn 3.
Tamer line.
No drive-throughs tonight.
No drive-throughs. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I figured somebody would get the Joker lap.
I feel like Matt got a better Surtees there.
Yeah, he did. He did. And are we going to see some side-by-side action? Breaking late into Hawthorne's is ballsy.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Oh, a little bumpy.
Oh, Carlos.
Carlos.
A little drift.
Returning to the scene of the crime.
Matt's got to get this move done if he wants this position. They are running out of corners here.
Yeah. Dangerously
race leader.
close. Carlos holds it. My goodness.
Rados is going to come across the
The leader has
line.
finished the race.
Congrats to
I don't think
Rados.
Matt's got it.
Yeah,
Matt just not close enough here. Unless he makes the sin of a century.
Carlos did really well to hold that through there because it looked to me like that car had had enough.
Yep.
And
What a
yeah,
race.
Carlos will bring it home. So that was a great race there. Yeah, between those two. Rados, here is Rados, wins dominant fashion. It was about a 30-second lead that he had in the end. Barrett comes across the line for a great finish in P2. I did not snipe him, despite what people thought might happen. Haslin on the podium with a P3. And then Don Belanger winning the BMW M2 category, with Joby Savage coming around Clark's now with Lukey hot on his heels to take P2 in the BMW M2. And Nick Cahoot, who I think was an arrive and drive.
He was. He was not on the grid when
Yeah.
the grid formed.
So Nick has arrived and drove to a podium.
Yep. Congrats to Nick. Big result for him.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
we started with 18, finished with 13 drivers, so we lost 5.
Yes.
If you like the look of this, guys, we need a big grid for Spa next week. Feel free to join the series as we go to Spa de Francorchamps.
Bless you.
Gesundheit.
It is it's going to be interesting for the P-Cups. I wonder how many people are
have
going to
fun.
die of old age in the M2.
Rados has left the building, so we'll put Don front and center. There better be PCUP M2 bump drafting at Spa, says Turner. So yeah, hopefully we get. We'll need a. You know what? Let's promote within the series channel during the next week, guys, and try to get everyone out on the grid. I feel like we need a big grid for Spa. I'm going to try and tune in from my vacation spot, and yeah, I'll talk to the others about who can run it, and then I'll be back for the following round, which is going to be what? I'll be back for Laguna, which I'm happy about because I quite like Laguna, and I feel like this series will be really fun there.
Babuna Seca.
Yeah, we got some
great.
good ones. Yeah, we got Spa, then we got Laguna, we got Alton, we got Misano, or as somebody spelt it in our Discord, Miasno.
Wait.
It's Funky Town with the spelling faux pas. We got Nürburgring and then Watkins Glen to round out the season in mid-December. So coming thick and fast. But yeah, that's round 3 in the books, guys. Good times, good times.
It was a good race. Brands Hatch delivers. I would like to see more cars on the grid, but at the same time, just the traffic, even at 15 cars, probably on the average for most of the race, it generates a lot of action, as we saw. So I was excited to see it.
Indeed, Joey. Thanks to you, sir, as well.
Always.
And I will see you guys in 2 weeks. And yeah, chat. You can see these two lovely folk next week.
Fantastic. Take it easy, everybody.
Later.
Good night, all. Good night. The Porsche Cup. The BMW M2. Two iconic motorsport manufacturers provide a limited choice for this one-of-a-kind multi-class series. A series which will undoubtedly provide us with fast, close, exciting racing. spanning 9 of the world's most iconic racetracks. This is Season 4 of New World Sim Racing's 2024 calendar. Drivers, start your engines.